This is a really healthy drink. You've never heard of mate?
Of course.
Okay.
I'll grab you that chair because
I was gonna say.
These boys aren't just jumping to attention here. See? Watch this. Don't let me get you.
Yeah.
Don't let me spill your mate.
I don't know. This is gonna maybe look weird on camera.
Yeah, I had some companions that were strung out on mate.
Strung out. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Given it's just water mostly.
I was never a big fan.
It tastes like crap. Yeah. It's really bitter, especially.
We're gonna start applauding right now. Here, that.
So you have to drink it out of a mate cup. So this is actually a filter. This straw has like a filter, so your grass leaves don't go up in it. It's super healthy for your digestive system. It's got a little bit of caffeine in it, so I can do it without having to do my energy drinks. It's not got a lot, but so I'm trying to stay away from all the amino and all the crap that I was drinking, all the pre-workout. I used to drink this a lot, and I love it, and it used to keep me digestive system good.
Where do you buy it?
Amazon. You used to have to go to like the Chinese stores or whatever else back in the day before Amazon existed. Now it's all over Amazon.
Just mate.
Mm-hmm. You can even buy the cups.
Mate's not really a Mexican
No,
thing.
it's not. So some of the Spanish stores don't have it.
Yeah.
So you either have to find Chinese stores have it because they'll drink it in China sometimes. This is really Argentina drinks it with sugar, so they'll put a spoonful of sugar.
So does Chile.
Chile's cold.
Yep.
But they'll do a little bit of sugar. Uruguay's the only one that does it bitter and hot. So
Amen.
It's called amargo. I love it.
It's called mierda.
It does not taste great, but it doesn't taste any worse than my celery juice, so I'm just popping it up all over the place in the morning.
That's true. That's true.
Acquired taste.
Look, you can get used to anything.
It's true.
And that's why...
And when it's good for you, then it's easier.
Right. And that's why when people get used to Diet Coke, they're super used to it, and they think it's better than Coke. It isn't. It never will be.
Like
it never has been.
I'm not a soda, or I'm a soda guy, Dr. Pepper only, but Diet Coke and Coke, no. Yeah. Anytime. Diet's a little bit gross on the Diet Dr. Pepper. Not a big fan.
I don't like Diet
But Dr. Pepper Zero, I can do.
To me, it's like I'm drinking a straight chemical. I'm licking.
Yeah.
I'm licking.
Diet Coke and Coke.
Just diet soda, just the faker, the worse. And so you can acquire that taste, and it's amazing how strung out they get on it. And it's also amazing how many fat people you walk down the street, and they're just sitting there thinking they're doing okay by drinking 47 Diet Cokes a day. And it's like, I don't think that's the best thing.
There's science against the regular Coke, and there's science against the Diet Coke, and neither one of them are great.
Neither good for you.
If it's dark, it's probably not good for you.
Look, it's a treat, period. Yeah. And if you treat it that way.
And that's my Dr. Pepper addiction is usually just I try and do weekends. That's
smart.
Pizza and weekends.
I do one at night.
There you go.
And I avoid most sugars during the day. It's just one of those things. It's until that changes, because
all I'm doing is really good for 5 days and then crappy for 2 days. So it just makes me the same. So it doesn't give me any I should be 20 pounds lighter probably, but I just keep resetting it every weekend. But
you got to reset.
At least it's not.
What else?
At least it's not going up. That's
true. It's true. You got a baseline.
Yep, baseline. Just keep it at the baseline.
Well, okay.
So hopefully this doesn't look like a bong on camera.
No, I'm kind of going for the.
So that's not what I'm going here for.
This is, I've got Westover. This is the Rogan experience, and this is he's got himself a bong of Mota. I'm just going Mota. No, we're going Mota. Oh, I know all about mate, and he already explained it. And if we're gonna cut that out, probably, but nonetheless. We're going to go ahead and move
healthy
forward.
Drink.
I like the counterculture. I'm going to go with something here today because I get ripped on all the bloody time by all the young people in here, you included.
I'm so glad you included me in the young people.
Well, yeah. Look.
Because I get called old all the time. I can call you old just because you are older than me, but there's not very many people that can do that. My basketball teams call me old man all the time. So.
As long as you can keep them running.
That's what I tell them. It's a week-to-week prognosis.
Just wait and see.
Yeah.
Watched a TV show, a cartoon.
Well, tell me it's not going to be like something like Lone Ranger that I have no idea what you're talking about.
Lone Ranger was a fine show.
Please be a reference that at least came out in the 80s or 90s.
It's in the 70s.
Okay, yeah, I'm not having any clue what you're talking about.
You might
go
know
ahead.
it.
All right.
You might know it.
Fire?
Scooby-Doo.
Okay. Got you. Yeah.
Okay.
That's been remade so many times that there's, yeah.
Scooby-Doo just kept going, but yeah, it was. But
So I got the
the
premise.
significant remake was not till the 2000s. Like it rolled all the way through the 80s strong.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a
into
70s show. So
very tail. And so, and they can probably YouTube it or Google it or whatever they call that nowadays. Scooby-Doo. I was sitting there thinking about this, and I don't know why these things pop in my head.
You
But
and me both.
Yeah. Go ahead and refill your bloody emotion.
Just waiting for. I'll
we
just
go.
go ahead and sip this.
We're
while
just gonna get him
go
good
go.
and live.
Let's
for the
go.
live stream here.
No, I just know I got
Let
20.
everybody
I
start
just got
asking
20 minutes
questions.
while you introduce this topic. So let's go, Scooby Doo.
What I deal with here. Scooby-Doo was an interesting cartoon in the sense that you had a bunch of teenager or whatever they were, seemingly young folks, a couple of gals, a couple of dudes, and a dog, in a V-dub. I mean, how can you not? Where can you go wrong? You got a nerdy girl. You've got what probably is a fellow that drinks mote along with the dog. And it was Shaggy, Ruggy. And you've got Fred, who no one really can understand Fred. I don't know how they just pulled Fred out of the hat. But you had an interesting cast of characters rolling around solving crime. But watching it, because we watched it all the time, that was a staple for us. And I'm assuming for you too.
No, but I know what it is. I remember the previous podcast. I literally read a newspaper when I was 5 years old. I didn't watch cartoons. I didn't like at all. So my reference is even as an adult. I know what Scooby-Doo is because
So-
it came out with a movie later on.
Oh, wow.
But no, I didn't watch cartoons. This is that doesn't. I don't know that makes me sound good. That wasn't my Saturday morning cartoons. Not even that. Like
Not even
I know what they
Bunny?
are, but I didn't watch them.
Not even Bugs Bunny?
Nothing. Wasn't
You don't know who
sports.
Foghorn
Like
Leghorn
that was
is?
my
And-
thing. I was watching games. That was it.
Look,
So,
anyway,
but I know what it is,
More
so.
well-rounded, us Mohicans.
Oh, yeah?
Those
No, agreed.
silverbacks.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was thinking. I'm looking at Scooby-Doo's, and I'm thinking these were. It was a thinking show. It wasn't an ABC and an arithmetic or
You were
an
trying to figure out
educational, but
along
they were
with
trying
them.
to figure out something, and they're a bunch of figuring out kids, and I'd have got away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Blah 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 blah, and now we're raising a generation. Planted the seed last week when we talked about how you started your firm and just put it all on red and went on Westover. Here we go. Had some lofty goals of not having to carry the torch solo into your kids' older age groups, and eventually got there a little later than you wanted to, but not a lot of attorneys do that. Not many.
Yeah.
I have a similar story where I just kind of took the scraps off a handful of attorneys' desks and got mentored by whomever was walking by, and was very fortunate to be able to ask a question or two. But for the most part, I was dog paddling in the deep end, trying to do the best I could for the clients I knew by first name, and they had my cell phone number, which back then, thank goodness, you didn't have email on your cell phone, and you didn't have text, and you didn't have anything like that. You just had a number.
You should see my cell phone. It's crazy. I don't do that anymore, and not because I don't like my clients, but it just gets when you
No,
get,
I don't do
when
it
you get the
anymore.
volume
You
of
can't,
clients
yeah,
that you have
yeah,
after 20
yeah.
years. But yeah, I've got trying to find a phone number is impossible, Mike, because of the amount of contacts that I have.
Oh, isn't it crazy? And when
Yeah.
the contacts breed with the contacts, that
Yeah.
breed with when you get a new phone or you
Like
new
150
program or
people
update.
with a first name of A. And
Yes.
I'm like, okay, this is going to take me forever.
Or what happens when somebody that's been in there forever goes, like my brother Nate Hogle and 12 others is the way it comes up when he's calling me. Who are the 12 others?
Interesting.
I don't really know. I got to update my contacts.
His burner phones and all that.
I don't think Nate. I don't know. I don't know him to have burn. Anyway, let's carry on. So this thinking cartoon, And now let's say, Reed's in the room right now. We pick on him a lot. But we're not going to today. But let's say that Clint, he's my youngest. Clint comes to me and says, I want to go into concrete. I want to be a concrete guy, and I'm going to skip college and start working. And my advice to him would be the same as it would be to Jesse, his Reed's younger brother. He's 20 almost. Would be the same. So Jesse's fixing on going to college at some point, and my advice to both these two would be, okay, start in the mailroom. Work your butt off. Work your butt off. Work your butt off. You'll be fine. I'd be perfectly fine if Clint came to me and said, going into, I'm going to be a framer, or I'm going to be a plumber, or I'm going to be an HVAC guy, or whatever. Name it. Name a trade, a welder. Absolutely. Knock yourself out. But my advice to them would be work. Now, we grew up where by the time it hit you, by the time it hit me, it didn't really exist. I was pretty much almost through it. By the time it almost seemed like you needed an undergraduate degree. But when I went to college, it was, you're going to college? 1 in 150 graduates at the Mesa High School went to college, beyond the MCC.
Yeah.
Then at some point, very quickly thereafter, that tide shifted. And your dad and your grandpa both have done well for themselves in business. Both are very smart men. You've talked about them long ago on the pod, and they have progressed well in life in that regard. And it doesn't seem like the college thing mattered a whole lot for a whole lot of many years. Now, college has gone retro, and they've gotten it's always been kind of the leftist breeding ground. Protests and things like that, and things that are kind of off color go on college campuses. But there was many years where they were just kind of party schools, or just kind of not really protesty, just kind of loosey-goosey, and rooted for the football team. And, it was an experience to get your degree, and on you went to whatever you did thereafter. Oftentimes, they became a carpenter thereafter, or they became whatever they ended up in thereafter. Most of the time, it didn't have anything to do with their degree. So with this new upcoming, I see this counterculture of kind of conservative folks on the that drink fancy.
It's going to distract you every time.
This is so awesome. I mean, we are literally the Granola Joe Rogan experience. Granola Joe Rogan experience. It's the name of the pod. Granola Joe Rogan experience. Just make sure it goes.
I just need to calm down before I talk. I don't know. I don't know where we're going yet. So
we got this counter. So Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk's a big proponent of no college, right?
Well,
he's the name
not
that
necessarily a no college proponent. He's have a reason.
The college
for
is
it.
a scam. I mean, that's his.
And I can't disagree. I mean, it's gotten so expensive, and it really isn't worth the money for most graduates. There are some where it is, but they've got to be mindful. Like, they've got to have a direction. They've got to have a way to pay off an over sticker priced. It's like the vehicles of a few years ago that were just so expensive. They went through the roof, and people just bought them. But then by the time they went to sell them, they're 20, 30 grand underneath them. That's not a good place to be. So that's college. And so if you're going to go and have a certain plan of attack, it better have it's a means to an end, and that end can pay for what it costs you to get there in a reasonable amount of time. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. And I think that's Charlie Kirk's main message there. But I've never seen that I don't think the world's ever really seen that particular push on campuses, wherein it's not necessarily an anti-education push, it's more of an anti-woke movement, really, is what it kind of boils down to as far as Charlie Kirk, I believe. And so finding kids with, young folks with a strong direction and kind of and making it to where there's groups to where they don't feel isolated with what the usual college aspect is a lot of liberal thinking. Where I'm going with this is Scooby-Doo. We were thinking. We were trying to figure out a caper. We were trying to figure out a mystery. We were thinking. We were using our brains. We weren't using our phones. We weren't using some, hey Siri, tell me da da da. We weren't using. We were thinking. Like, ooh, I wonder what da 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 da. That was just a simple, cartoon. We're not in that. We're not in Kansas anymore. So one of these fellas, you guys probably both have your phones because you don't leave home without them, are going to look up YouTube and AI. Like, what did YouTube do with AI? Look it up. Come on. I need the report here. Between the two of you, you'll come up with something.
What did YouTube do with AI?
Yeah, talk to me about YouTube. Just made a very hard and fast rule about AI.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you
yeah.
basically don't get...
Ooh, give this man a microphone that works.
This one working? This one's kind of working. All right, so basically, what YouTube did recently is they made it so you don't make money on videos that are re-uploaded from someone else's. Like if you just took someone else's thing and re-uploaded it. You don't get money from that. You don't get money from AI-generated content. Also, there was a Supreme Court ruling that AI-generated content is not copyrightable, which is good. And then there was like another thing where it's like really, I don't know. There's like another condition where it's like if you do this, you don't make money, but it's also like just an extremely lazy way to like make YouTube videos and try and like just
Use it as your own.
yeah, basically just like money farm off of making like slop videos.
Nice. That's exactly what I was looking for.
So just in case that didn't, sometimes that mic doesn't pick up. So just for viewers, basically Caden said that they're limiting the way you monetize YouTube when you're using AI. So basically you got to come up with original content in order to
Caden
make
was
money.
way better than that
Yep.
rendition.
That was a
However,
summary.
That was a good summary, though. That was a good summary.
Bundle it. That's my
they're
job.
in front of AI. They're in front of the big boom. They're saying they're welcoming, they're monetizing. So it all boils down to money. We'll pay people with original content. This right here.
Yeah.
With our organic Joe Rogan experience. This is you can't make this up. I didn't see this coming today. This is pretty awesome. I did not see Westover sitting in here with some latte. with the straw specifically. I mean, but
The straw throws everyone out.
It
Yeah.
filters the gruel.
It would be really gross if you
the
just
forest. Yeah,
did
it
without
does.
it.
It was the way I first was introduced to mate. I didn't realize I needed to drink through the bong.
Oh, that would be
However,
gross.
That was a bad mistake. You do that once. And then, on you go. But you just get a bunch of forest, ground. Get a bunch of foliage.
Yeah. Yeah.
It pretty much. You do make the mistake once. Anyway, so it was a thinking. Growing up, that wasn't abnormal. Who would even consider it? But now, what challenges our kids is what to say to Siri, what to poke in, here. And so when they come home with a math problem and they're jacked up and they're twisted and turned around, I'm wondering, well, how the Sam are you figuring out the algorithm or the whatever code on whatever video game that you figured out, but you can't figure that math problem out?
It's going to be a weird world that we're going to be in the next little bit. I had a similar conversation, maybe more bundled with my wife as far as that, like where our kids are going to. So we've always had the problem, and this is before AI, but it's been leading to this direction for a while, whether you could YouTube how to solve a problem or whatever. It's been, a good 10 or 15 years where the kids can download an app and figure out their math problems and photo math and whatever else, which I'm using too, because as a dad, I forgot how to do algebra too. So I'm glad it exists as well. So our kids have kind of been lent towards using that technology, and now we're at a point where we're at a point of no return, in my opinion. I always thought, okay, they're still trying to circumvent, they're trying to still teach them the problem solving skills, but I'm talking about even just like my daughter will freak out if her outfit gets goofed up or whatever else, and it comes down to problem solving that they're just not doing well, and that's not. I think it's culturally based on AI and whatever else or our phones or whatever else. We have people solve our problems for us all the time. And so that logical problem solving skill is going to become majorly diminished in the future. Now, I don't know what maybe our world looks better even without that, maybe because that ship has sailed. I'm sure that the kid's logical argument is why would I do this and I get that argument. Like, it's going to be hard to explain to a kid 10 years from now why he needs to do it on paper. Like, the technology exists and it's not going away. Mm-hmm. And so even for us in the legal field, there's still a need for attorneys, but we use AI a lot. I use AI a lot. I don't know if you do. But I mean, luckily for us, there's still a judges don't want to see
they spot
a robot.
Right.
Well, and they don't want to see there's still need for people to represent somebody personally in court and whatever else. But I mean, those industries, you either embrace it, I think, at this point, or you don't. I had a colleague text me the other day and was asking me a bunch of questions. It was like a group text. There was 3 or 4 of us on there, and one of them said, "Just chat GPT it," and he was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me? I'm an old guy, but you don't know what chat GPT is? You don't have kids then or something? I don't know." Anyway.
Well, I would say, back to Scooby-Doo, that you're saying the same thing. I'm kind of bringing it up, and that's your concern, and you're talking with your wife about that. It's my concern too. Whether the youngest wants to be a concrete contractor or my oldest, it doesn't matter. Any one of them in between, I don't care. You're going to have to figure out how to problem solve. You're going to have to figure out if your zipper doesn't zip up, what's it getting caught up on, and figuring that out before you go to your job interview. You might want to have thought about that the day before. I don't know, not many people have but that would be an immediate problem thing that you would have to solve before you go in. Now, in certain times of your life, you might not have another pair of drawers to throw on real quick. I do now, but I didn't. Once upon a time, I was rolling around with one pair of khakis, and it's not entirely true. I had 2 pair, but the other one was in the wash, and that one was in the blah 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 blah. And so your outfit, scenario with your daughter, it's a very real thing.
And that was just a trivial example, but more it was just she just struggles thinking through a problem. I mean, that's not solved by AI, what her outfit is, but just in general, every problem that is encountered is solved by somebody else. And a lot of times mom's still the best AI, right? Right.
Neither is look, doing things for yourself, and really tackling problems and really getting after it is really kind of where it's all what it's all about, with or without AI.
Which is why AI was created, because somebody was trying to solve problems. Like, that's always how we have invention. And the problem with AI is this is somewhere we haven't been before. And it is so capable of solving so many things and doing so many things that it's interesting. It'll be, I don't know where it's going to go.
Well, I liken it to this because the only way to know the future is to kind of take a step back and look at the past. And you may disagree with my assessment on this, and I welcome the disagreement. I can't stand self-checkouts. And we may have brought this up before. I cannot stand them. I cannot stand them.
It's the only place I go.
Why? Right. All you people
do not want to talk to people. I don't.
Oh, right. Heaven forbid you say hello to Betsy. Yeah. Hi. How are you? How's your day gone? And she's got those crazy glasses on.
It's probably true. I mean, that community, neighborhood.
Fire.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Shoot a stage priest. You're killing our culture, people. Anyway, the self-checkout, here's the problem. Every time, and look, it could be just that I suck. It could be that I'm inept. It could be that I'm stupid. It could be that it cannot figure these things out, which they have upgraded. I will admit they've gotten a little bit better. But poking in the onions on the thingamajigger, which I'm sure you buy all the time with your mom. Anyway, who knows what you buy? But you poke it in there, and then there's 17 different options, and you don't know which ones you put in the bag. And you're like, oh, son of a buckskin. Regardless, I'm going to have the person that's overseeing the whole thing every time. Well, guess who I'm waiting for every time?
Yeah, I know, and
it's twice as long to do it yourself. I'm paying these people.
Extremely inefficient if you've got $400 and you got produce and stuff for sure. Like that's not when I would go through the self checkout. But if I went and bought a greeting card,
most people aren't buying a greeting card west over. They're buying groceries at the grocery store.
How many self checkout people have you seen with $400 worth of groceries? And if you are, they're crazy.
Well,
I'm just talking about like 5 or 6 items. Yeah, I'm going through the self checkout.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do?
Self checkout for Costco, really?
Yeah.
No, that line.
Oh, you draw the line, do you?
No, oh for sure. Like I'm not. Absolutely. If somebody's going to do it a lot quicker than me. But if it's 4 or 5 items, I don't want to wait in a line. That self checkout's usually got no line.
I'll go to the grocery store the way I got this in mind for dinner, so I'm going. I'm getting a couple tomatoes. I'm getting an onion. Because I like to cook. I'm not good at it, but I'm good at what I cook, so that's fine. I'm more of a griller, but let's carry on. And poking those things in, I've got 3 or 4 things, much like you would probably have, but they're not just zappy things. Some of them are.
Dude, nowadays, like Circle K, you don't even have to, like, you put the drink on it, it knows you have a drink. Like, you don't have to punch anything in. So the technology is going to be there, my friend, where you just put it on there and you don't have to poke anything.
Okay, so why am I still looking at the crackhead behind the counter?
They're just looking to make sure you don't steal.
And to give you tobacco products.
Yeah, there's a few things.
There you go. And
oh, dude, the new QTs are dope. They are the new soda machines.
I know. I saw it and said, "Well, they're with the neighborhood."
Holy
they're
cow!
with the neighborhood.
They're awesome.
I know.
Thomas, I was at a basketball tournament like downtown Phoenix, and I went into one. It's the first one I'd seen, and I was like,
"That's where I saw it first." I was in West Phoenix.
Here? But now there's one on Higley and Riggs has one now. The new one. It's nice.
They're yeah, there's the one here in Gilbert Southern has it too.
Awesome, man.
They're with the neighborhood.
Slushy machines. I don't use those, but it looked cool.
Well, you might now. I mean, who knows what you're going to go to next?
So if they got a mate machine, I'm over it.
You know what? You got to put that in their suggestion box. There's enough demand, like
none.
There's no demand.
Not here.
That looks like a little hard-boiled egg holder.
It's got
like the old. My grandpa used to have a hard-boiled egg holder, and he'd sit there, and my grandma would be complaining.
This is the national soccer team. So there's 2 soccer teams in Uruguay who are like, you have to be one or the other. Like right. There's no in between.
This. Yeah.
So one's called Nacional and one's called Peñarol, and you have to pick one. So this is always a topic of conversation when somebody sees this from Uruguay. They're like, oh, you're a Peñarol. I have no idea who it plays for them or anything, but yes, absolutely. And we're buddies now, unless you're Nacional, and then they hate me. Like it's like a big thing. So.
It's a coincidence. Flip a coin.
One or the other. You're gonna get a friend or not.
Yeah. In Chile, they had La U and Cobreloa.
Yeah.
And
you can't. Yeah, you cannot be. Oh, you just offended all the Chileans.
Yeah. Crap. Yeah. Those were the 2 bigs, but I might be getting that second one wrong. And I used to go with that because it was kind of like the Raiders of.
Oh, you went with the underdogs? See, that's Nacional.
Everybody's
a Peñarol that I meet.
They weren't the underdogs.
So I picked the majority one.
Let me make this straight. They were the Raiders for the Chileans. So they were kind of the dark horse, but the dark horse always won.
Oh, no, yeah, that's a difference.
So they were Madden's Raiders.
These guys are the Jets. Not these guys. These guys are the Giants, but the other Nacional is the Jets. Like, they never win, but people just grew up that way.
Yeah. La U was kind of anyway, but Argentina would come and fleece all the great talent, or sometimes Brazil, and still doing it because Chile does produce some. But Chile's problem is they're pretty. They play pretty. They don't play gritty, and you add a little bit of grit, and they have been competitive. They made top 4
Chile did a little run.
They've been very competitive.
World Cups ago.
Chi, 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 le, 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 vive Chile. Okay. Anyway,
This is super distracting you, I know.
yes, it's killing me, Smalls. It's okay. So what the hell I'm trying to say here is, even though you are a self-checkout master and you are a self-checkout master, and these two don't care because they don't know better. Amen. They check you out in Winco, even at 2 a.m.
They do. But
Dang, Skippy.
They close the self-checkout at like 10. That's true.
I love it. I love checking out in the aisle, putting my stuff on the thing, having someone. That's what I'm.
Simple
paying for.
pleasures.
Yeah.
I could
You know,
care
we-
less.
Look, I understand. I had a milkman. You did not. I used to be able to see someone draw your fuel for you. That did end very quickly in my very young years. But
Yeah,
that
somebody
was a
does
cool
that.
thing.
I'm like,
Very
please do
quick.
not touch my car.
It was a very cool thing in my young years. People
Do
didn't
not
care
want
as
to
much.
tip you for sitting there. It's like the guys that clean my golf clubs after. I know culture tells me I need to give them a few bucks. You literally spend 10 seconds with a water and whatever else.
One of
and
them thingamajigs.
Yeah, it's not even like, and they never clean. And I'm like, gosh, this drives me nuts.
Well, it's like going to
But
Mexico.
they're always
and they
16 or 17-year-old kids. So you got to
going to
give it to
Mexico
them.
and they're always washing your windshield and doing this and doing this, and you're like,
That's a
"Oh,
thing. That's a topic for another conversation. Our tip culture is something that
I can't stand
that I'll get old man on for sure. 'Cause
Sweet. We see eye to eye on this. I could see it already. They just flip that screen around. Tip you
It's-
for what?
And that would be something like self-checkout would do. All of a sudden, there's going to be at the end, it's going to be like, would you add a tip? No, there's nobody here.
I just did your job.
Yeah, no.
Checking these things out, I did your job.
Every computer screen. I don't even pay. I pay with cash only because then I don't get asked for a tip. Because they have to cancel that screen, and then I don't have to push no, I'm not giving you a tip because you wanted to collect my money. You've
But
done
I'm
nothing
starting to
else.
like-
You've
I'm
literally
starting
done
to
nothing
like
else.
poking no.
Yeah, and then
It gets
there's a principle
contagious.
thing for that too.
It gets contagious. And if somebody gives me really good service where somewhere I would not tip,
If it's a service, that's the problem
if
I
they give me
have.
really good service. Like for example, the other day we buy our bread from a bread store because I like healthier bread, blah blah. And they went and got me something from the back that was a little bit the most fresh they had, right? And I really
So
appreciate it.
actually
I
went,
just gave the
went
young,
an extra mile. All right.
yeah, I just gave the young kid a $1 and said thank you, and instead of going through the little machine thing.
Sure.
All right. That said,
Tangent.
regardless of all the AI, okay, and regardless of all the Siri and all the YouTube and all the, and I do like, and I was going to go on about the YouTube, but no, not anymore, because that was really great that they're liking the original content. They want creativity. They don't want some machine. So, regardless of how prevalent it gets, there's still going to be a human element, huge need to be
Sure hope so.
a solving agency, a person that can solve a problem, a person that can think outside the box, a person that can really navigate. And I feel like it might be even more important now than ever, because sure, there are all these things that we can utilize, but are we utilizing them fully? Are we maximizing the ability?
You definitely leveled the playing field, right? For people that couldn't think for themselves before, now can just give a prompt.
Right.
Like I follow a guy that's made his and maybe this is the example of somebody that there's still a place for people that think. His whole Instagram page is teaching people how to use certain prompts to solve certain problems. So he's got like travel hacks and how to get certain flights for certain things, or grocery lists and where to find those groceries, and you have to put in certain prompts. And so I guess there's still
Interesting. So you have someone holding your hand for your shopping or your
exactly.
Judas
I
takes
don't know if
priest
that's a
West
good
over.
idea, but I love it. Like
I'm sure you do. Don't touch my car, you gas me up fellow.
Yeah.
Your car is a chargeable car anyway.
What are you doing at a gas station?
You know, what are you doing there? You're getting your Dr. Pepper is what you're doing.
No, and I hear you, and I hear you on the frustration and it's going to be. I just don't. I think we're at a point of no return. I don't know where.
I agree. But let me tell you where we're going. Reed, this one's for you. Make sure the hot mic is on. And I'll let Caden go on this one too. You guys see Nemo. Yeah, I'm sure you don't know about that one. I came out way too early for you. That Finding Nemo thing.
I got this.
Boy,
I had kids. No, bro. That's the difference. Cartoons I watched when I had kids.
Yeah, that's the
so
same
that's
with me.
so
It's-
Nemo for sure was a. I've got a 20-year-old, so he definitely that was his time back in the day. Yeah, Caden was a Cars
fantastic.
guy, dude. That
Oh,
was
huge.
like
I still love that show.
legit. That was his.
Raised a generation of people who really like cars.
Yeah.
All of the Cars movies.
Anyway, let's carry on. Thank you for that. And now you guys are stuck with a bunch of electric crap. That's not true. They're beefing up a lot of motors right now. It's kind of interesting. So there must be something to this Cars thing. All right, we're going back to Nemo. I'm trying to find a Cars reference to help you both, but
They know Nemo. Go for it.
we're going to go Nemo. Remember when at the end where Nemo breaks loose, cuts out of the dentist office, and they all think he's dead because he's pretending he's dead, and just all drains go to the ocean, blah, blah, blah. And Dory and the little Nemo reunite, and Marlins with the fish go into the fishing grounds. What were those fish like?
They're like just kind of.
Get him a microphone.
They were with each other, but not like socializing at all.
Okay, let him say it. He was way better than that.
The swarm mentality. They're just kind of like we got like a swarm mentality going on with the school of fish. They didn't really like think for themselves. They just kind of like followed whoever was in front of them, and they just kind of acted as a big old like ball swimming through the ocean.
Yep. Yeah, they were like, bottom line, they were like, as Caden was just explaining, they were just a conglomerate, just a bunch of fish that were mindlessly swimming towards the fishing ground. Weren't thinking for themselves, just stay in their lane. When they knock into each other, hey, watch it, buddy. And that's it. I mean, that was about it, right? You could see it in their eyes. Their eyes were just dead. They weren't alive. And then there was Marlin, the dad of Nemo, that was swimming with them, sad. But, I mean, you could see his eyes were just sad because he just felt like he lost his son. Okay. He swam across the whole ocean. Fast forward or rewind, I don't know if Wall-E came out before or after, but this is when it hit me hard, was freaking Wall-E. Who knew, I would ever watch Wall-E?
Reed loved Wally.
He was a kid. They want to watch Wall-E.
Mm-hmm.
I really, fine. It was one of those moments.
It's a good movie.
Anyway, what did I pause and rewind for you and Jess to watch and watch and watch? If you remember this, because you were fairly young. I could not believe it at the time, and I can't believe it now.
I don't know, probably something to do with the fat people.
Yeah, it had something to do with
when
the...
they finally got off of their screens and they hit each other.
No, it was when they were just all in the conveyor belt, like basically just in their little beach chair type things, and they had the screens, and they were all just logged onto the screens. And today, the new color of the day is blue. When they push a button, their outfits turn blue. It was when they were just not doing a thing. Drink this for your next meal. Drink this for your next meal. And they're all very heavy set. They're just like their vacation. They were just not moving at all. It was all where we're going. And so that's what we're raising. And I rewound it 1,000 times for these wingnuts. Obviously, it took. We're going to have to figure out how to utilize and work, because AI's not coming over to mow your lawn. They're not coming over. They're not gonna. Look, I know you saw. I know you. I've been to
These
Quick
Tesla
Trip.
robots, man.
I've seen the Quick Trip. We'll see.
There's literally a robot lawnmower. You've seen them at the
Yes.
golf course?
I have seen.
They're like a.
But I also
So
haven't seen.
that was a bad example. I'm
No,
sorry.
It's not a bad example.
Because
Watch and see.
you can buy one for like $500.
Remember that lady fell out of her chair and she didn't know what to do, and everyone's like,
That was a dude, wasn't it?
"That was a guy."
But your point is well taken. Like I'm not. The problem is you could probably use a bunch of examples like that they're not going to do, and maybe they are, but that doesn't make it better. Like I'm not saying that I'm excited for that culture.
Well, all I know is it's going to require still who's going to clean your dish. Maybe there is somebody to clean your dish. There wasn't a dishwasher, but the most worthless appliance in your house It's been in every house since the 1950s. A dishwasher. Does it really need to be there? Done. Not really. But it's become part of our culture for sure. We both lived in cultures that didn't even have.
Yeah, my wife, our first apartment didn't have a dishwasher, and she swears that she'll never do dishes by hand again. I don't mind doing it, but I never was doing them back in the day for our first year of marriage either by ourselves.
Yeah, I don't mind it doing dishes at all. It's kind of cathartic. But my point is they're going to have to figure out, like, I sent Presley was driving, and she's our 17-year-old. Presley, 17? Yeah, 17-year-old, cute little thing. She's driving over to California, and she's going in a 2013 Nissan Sentra, and I have no idea
if she's going to make it.
No, the car's perfectly great, but I had no idea how perfectly great because I don't know who's maintaining that vehicle. Obviously, I'm supposed to be overseeing that maintenance, but since she goes 10 seconds this way and 10 seconds that way and 10 seconds that way, and that's about it, she kind of lives in about a 5-mile radius. This California track, I'm like, well, when's the last time you changed your oil? Gives me the blank stare, like, what does that mean? That means the last time you've rotated the tires. What ends up happening is she immediately goes, she's a dutiful gal, immediately goes and pays way too much for an oil change. $100. No, she went to Jiffy Lube first. $100. I understand, but not on a Nissan Sentra. Right, a 2013 Sentra. $100. Okay. Anyway, and then she calls me. She's getting sold that she needs new tires, this, that, and the other. Which, frankly, I just said, Press, tell them that you're just gonna wait for Dad to come by, and thank you for your time. And get your butt down to Gunnels.
Yeah,
and she
that should be
way down to
that
Gunnels.
Company should be a freaking sponsor on this podcast. I don't know. You love those guys.
I do.
I know.
I do. Jeff calls me, says, "Yeah, you need tires." And I said, "All right, pick out the ones you would put on a 2013. She's going to be driving to California, and blah blah blah." And he goes, "You know, she paid $100 for oil change?" And I said, "Actually, no. I found out through him." And I said, "No, where'd she go?" You know what I mean? He goes, "Well, she could have come here and got it for $40. I mean, come on." I go, "Can you just let her know that without making her feel dumb?" He goes, "Can I make her feel a little dumb?" Yeah.
How are you supposed to know that?
A little.
Just make us feel dumb for not telling
And she'll shoot it back to you because she can be feisty. Anyway, she'll go there forever. Forever. Because she went in there and saw what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And felt what it looks like. Oh, snap. These guys didn't rape and pillage me for tires, or me, but they saw the relationship factor. That they said, "Hey, listen, you spent a little bit too much on getting an oil change. That was her money. You might want to come here. We'll do it for this much. Or have Dana, this is the rib, or have Dana teach you how." And
not happened on my end.
And Dana immediately thought, "Oh, a new project for Reed." And so, because he knows, I'm going to teach one, and the one needs to teach the next one, and the next one needs to teach the next one, and so on.
That's what you did with the driver's licenses.
You had Reed teach the other kids?
Way more patience.
I'm patient with my kids' drivers, but none of them will do mom anymore. Like, you can ask any of my kids that have driver's license. There's two of them.
I don't know what she's talking about. Her kids didn't want to go with her. No.
Yes, they did. Presley went with me all the time. Kimber and I, my oldest.
I have one that's 15 that's turning 16, and she's already gone once and said, "Nope." That's the one job Dad gets to do, apparently.
I'll wait for Dad.
Yep, nobody
I'll
else.
wait for Dad. Well, that probably is the case with me. There is no question. They all preferred that. But then I just delegate it to Reed, and they don't complain one bit. I'm like, all right, well, that's fine. I'm probably going to be the one teaching Lola, though, because she scares me. Clint's he'll be somehow fine. He's going to be that one. Like, I don't know how he lives, but he does.
I hear you.
Problem solving in this day and age, it's not an old school thing. It's not new. It's going to be here forever. I don't care if we're mowing our lawns or not. I don't care if we're doing this or not. I don't care what the world looks like. We all thought this thing was going to end in Y2K. We all thought this thing was going to end with global this and global that. We all thought this, we all thought that. It didn't happen. Okay, so we're going to have to make it here, and we're going to have to make it with whatever these bells and whistles offer. But how to make yourself scarce, how to make yourself important, how to make yourself successful. That's what we're talking about right now. The underlying, in the belly of the beast, how is still the same way it always was. Grab your boots, pull them up, get to work, start problem solving, start making yourself useful. Look around, take inventory, see where there's a need, and go. Do I think that there's going to be people that you're going to be people coming in to replace like little heartbeat people, real heartbeats, replacing your air conditioning unit in 20 years from now? Yes, I do still see that. Do I still think real welding is going to be done in that time frame? Yeah, I still see that. In manufacturing places and things like that, probably not. That's probably going to be done by machines. I mean, surgeons are still going to be needed. Is there going to be a mechanical flavoring all throughout that? Sure. Dang Skippy. I mean,
yeah, we'll see. Like you're a baseball guy, and there's a big push for automatic umpires to eliminate all the. And I think in the same vein that a robot doing. I mean, my wife just had major surgery, and a lot of it was done by. I mean, obviously there was a surgeon there, but he was manipulating a robot in order to do it. Right? It wasn't. The laparoscopic stuff now is all done by robotic arms and whatever else. And so, look, where I think it's going to come into play, apart from whether you think that things aren't going to be done by robots or not, we'll have to see. I mean, I don't know. I tend to think there's going to be a lot that's going to be done by robots in the future, unfortunately, whether that's a good or a bad thing. But I think that the social element of it is going to be where it separates people. I think that there's still a need for interacting with humans and convincing people to do things. And that is also something that this generation, Reed's generation struggles with generally, not them maybe necessarily, but
Reed does.
But that social interaction, they had so little of it a lot of times when their interactions were coming online, and their interactions were not like, even kids. Like I've got an 18-year-old that's birthday's today. I love the kid. Get off your headphones between classes. Like right. Every time we share a Spotify account, every time I go to log in at the gym, he's on his headphones. And so that means he's walking to class every day with his headphones. Well, that was the time we interacted with our friends. That was the time we learned how to ask a girl on a date or whatever, or a dance or whatever else. And he goes to, who are you going to ask to a dance? And he doesn't know half the school. Well, get off your freaking headphones. So all of those things, like as a dad, that's old man talking. Yeah. But that I think they still struggle with. And the ones that don't do it, that figure that social element out, are going to be able to use these technologies and sell themselves and sell the technologies and the social part of it. That's where I see a big separation for those that are going to succeed and those that are not. If you're using AI and you're a dummy because you haven't socialized, then you're going to be behind the 8 ball.
It's part of making things. It's part of being scarce. It's knowing the people around you. Okay, Reed goes to the lake, does the boat. He's very capable, and he's been the best right-hand man of all the kids by a load. But that said, that doesn't say much about them, but Reed's been good. And then he goes and does the back end, the pull out, and all that jazz. And there's a few little tiny things to work through, but it did really well.
That was a major skill I learned when my dad wouldn't let me take the boat out by myself in college unless I learned all those things.
And here we are.
That's a skill.
Yeah, and here we are, and he's kind of learning those things. Insurance kind of makes us go nowadays, because we'd get killed if something were to go boo in the night. That said, he's like a different human being on a certain level when he's socializing with his buddies, and even chicks that he doesn't dig that much and those that he does. He's got a little pep in the step. But also, you shut the door, or he's not going to seek that much like we might have, because that's all we had.
Yeah, we didn't have any other options.
We didn't have any other options but that. That was our only option. That was our life. And so we can go home, shut a door, and play Minecraft or something else. We didn't have something that can yank us out of
or even socialize with
society.
people
Right.
that are real, but we never see faces, we never
Right.
see actions, body language,
Right.
all that thing. There's social elements to
Right.
seeing somebody in person.
Right. There's just, and cues and things that you pick up on, and it's like if you want to legitimately progress in this world, that is the skill to know, because knowledge is not king with a machine.
Yeah, not anymore.
Knowing how to work it, knowing the little soft skills. So when we go to court, when we go to trial, things that we used to do incredibly well before we became the boss man and all that jazz and managers and this that. It wasn't the letter of the law. It was the nuance that we're picking up on, that nuance where a machine would never pick up on that nuance. You're finding an equity wherein that wouldn't have been manifest in a usual run-of-the-mill mechanical screening.
No,
The blood part of what we've done and what we do, you know dang well that's never going away, because that blood part is what gets the better result.
Yeah,
it's what gets the fair result.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I completely agree. That's where it's going to separate. I think that the playing field is going to be leveled in the sense that the guy that was, so let's take the law field, because that's what we talk about. That's our cup of tea. I always described like there was a few different types of lawyers, and one of them was, look, there's a place for a guy that just wants to pump out like a transactional attorney. It's not going to meet clients. He's just going to pump out motions. He's very good at it. He knows that the social part's not his game.
Right.
And so he's going to be the guy behind the scenes, and he might even be a partner at a big firm because he's so good at drafting these motions and thinking on that type of skill, right? But he can't talk himself out of a box.
Right.
I don't know if I feel that way anymore. And then there was the lawyer that, hey, he's going to sell the product. He's going to convince the judges. There's friendships he's built, and there's relationships that, you've built with prosecutors. And there's a huge advantage to that guy that the transactional guy can't do. He can't come in because he's letter of the law and he's robot and whatever else. The problem is the robot just took over his job.
Right.
The AI just took over his job. So there's going to be less of a place for that person that doesn't like to socialize, that can't use his power of convincing, his power of friendship, his demeanor, whatever else. That attorney, kind of the two types of attorney, like the kid in law school asked me, hey, this is what I like to do. Well, sounds like you're a transactional guy. You're not going to want to do what I do. Right. I've got to meet with a lot of clients and keep them happy and relationship manage and whatever else. That's not your game, but there's a place for you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have that same conversation with that person anymore. Even your accountants, like the accountants that are going to survive are the ones that are going to be able to manage those relationships.
The way I look at it is, and I think you're completely right, I'm going to add to that. Now, the fellow that doesn't like the social life, doesn't like anything social, is a little bit, but very talented in certain ways. Between the years and being able to write those motions, and we both have seen value to those types of people.
Absolutely.
Big time. We hire them.
No, absolutely.
For that.
And I've always told you there's a place for you. I just hope that, I don't know if that place exists anymore.
Well,
we'll
I
see.
don't know, because
it's early.
I probably we could see somebody that still is going to be that way, is going to be an Adrian, Rocky's wife type, very, behind the scenes, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, what if they're the king of the machines?
Sure.
I mean, you would want, okay.
And they're going to have to adapt. They got to figure it out.
They have to adapt, and that's what I'm saying. This whole entire thing is talking to both types, all of us. We're going to have to adapt, but the one thing that never goes away is what you were talking about, is the relationships, is the getting to know, that right question that, okay, why didn't you lead with that? You know what I mean? But it's probably not a common question to either one of us, but we've always had that created an equity. And in your world, an equity means something very significant. In my world, an equity means leverage. It created a leverage. Probably the same kind of application, but a little bit different in your world, but huge in your world. But leverage in my world too is huge, in both worlds actually. So it creates this, okay, here we are at the beginning, and then, I just found this out, and so the end just got tweaked a little. No, a mechanical thing is going to take you to the same spot every time, which there's some value to that, but not necessarily the best spot and not necessarily the most just spot. And I don't see people trusting I don't even like checking out with my groceries. I know everybody else has gotten their arms around this because you guys have been crate trained. Mm-hmm. No. Because you guys don't know what it used to be like to look for which aisle didn't have anybody in it. It was always the case.
And I think, yeah, and I get where you're coming from, and your mentality is the same thing why I said Gunnels should be a sponsor of this show. You've always appreciated, loved the neighborhood feel of a market, a tire shop, or whatever else. A lot of us, including me, my town doesn't look like where I grew up, doesn't look like it once did. And when I go back, those same stores have been bought up by the Walmarts and whatever else. Yeah. Once Walmart gets there, I have zero desire to talk to Jeannie, who's hates her job and doesn't want to be there anywhere. It's not the same type of employee either. So those guys that you grew up wanting to hear your story of where your kid's at high school and what's he doing, those employees don't, unless you're going to a Gunnels or your local bread store, they don't exist anymore. So that's why we just go, if they don't want to be here, I don't want to talk to them either. And so I go to the self-checkout and whatever else. And so there's a whole cultural shift that's happened, and I get where you still hold on to that. And in certain respects, I would love that. It's really hard to find nowadays.
Let me ask a question, because the way you think and the way you just explain that's pretty great. I don't disagree with what you just said. Unfortunately,
and it's not
that many Gunnels out there.
It's facts, unfortunately. I wish it was.
I'm going to call them in a minute to see if they'll sponsor us. At least become at least become one of our. What are they called?
I can have a sign back here or something.
What are they called? No, the people that. I could care less. We just want. What are they called?
Subscriber.
Yes. A subscriber.
They've been mentioned enough that you should probably say, just
times,
throw
Jeff,
me a bone and subscribe.
Will you please just subscribe? We drink Mota. I mean, come on.
That sounds like.
I know. I want to call it Mota just from here on out, just because we get a little bit more run, maybe. Nobody knows what that is. Nobody knows what mate is, really.
That's the Chick-fil-A mentality, right? They try and do that.
They're trying to
and that's what
that.
separated them, too. The service is different. Yeah.
Good service, and
they punch in, they go brain dead for the next shift, and then once they punch out, they're alive again.
they hear my voice sometimes, and that's okay. Because I go there.
No, and there's probably stores that are still trying to do that, chains that are trying to bring that.
So Paige is saying,
and Chick-fil-A, I know,
is
really prides itself
really
in
good.
that.
Lately, she's noticed real good service, and they probably are jumping on the Chick-fil-A.
And that's probably just a manager of that particular building
Could be.
that wants that culture. And there's a place for that. And you probably return to that because of that. And that's why you're going to your stores that you are. That's that social aspect that we talked about, right? They've won the social game for you. They treat you a certain way.
Yeah, maybe.
And you get a certain service that you expect from them. They know your kids. You're going there because Gunnels, there's probably people that compete with Gunnels prices maybe.
Oh yeah.
But you're going there for a different aspect for it. And so that's where I agree with you that there's still a place for that. It's becoming harder and harder for those places to exist.
Let me explain something that might make some sense to those two. All right, the two youngins and our two younger ones. 22, 20? Got that right? Okay. So Reed's 22.
Turn 20, right?
Caden's 20.
Oh, no, that's right. He's still 19.
He's rolling 19, 20.
I thought that's when you said that, it kind of paused me. My one's 18 today, but yeah, he's still not 20
like
yet.
He can rip my arms
yeah,
off.
He looks like he's 40. But...
So I'm just going to let him call himself whatever he is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's not sitting there with a fruitcake little...
Fruitcake? This is so good. Now I'm a liberal because I have mate.
Completely. Where is your do-rag? It has a rainbow.
Zero to do with liberal.
Just give me. You should really have some fun with that. That caught me off guard. You got to admit that would catch most people.
No, I like
off
it.
guard.
I brought it on purpose.
I know you did. It's fantastic.
I've been carrying it around all day. I've been carrying it around for weeks. It's my new thing now.
I love it. Does it make you pee more?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You've had like different drinks every time. Like a energy drink, or you've had like or not.
Yeah. Just mixing it up. I'll bring something next time.
I'll ask Jeff about what tires to put on what, when, how, where. I'm rolling 50 plus thousand miles on the Suburban. You just took it the other day. How many miles does that thing have on it? 52,000?
Something like that.
Something. Got the same set of all-terrains on it. You know, it's an off-road vehicle, and it has all-terrains. It has 52,000 plus miles on them. They're running great. Why? They probably have about 5,000 miles left on them. I mean, but that's a lot of miles for an all-terrain tire.
Okay.
And it's because he told me what to do. He told me what to buy, and he put them on. They weren't the most expensive ones, and they weren't the least expensive ones, but they were the best ones. Why does he know this? He replaces these things all day long. He sees what lasts longer than what's being replaced, he knows the comings, goings, and has for many, many, many years. He also knows the different makes and models of the rigs. The Chevy's a little bit heavier than the Nissan. The Nissan's a little bit heavier than da-da-da-da-da. So he also knows those types of things. And so inevitably AI and or the Google and or whatever else is going to be somewhat adulterated by money. And so if Michelin has a bigger push for an all-terrain tire for whatever, da-da-da-da-da, that's going to be the one that pops up.
They're going to manipulate that.
They're going to manipulate that. There's no question.
I've heard
in my
Amazon's
mind.
doing that with AI right now.
Yeah, Amazon
they're
does that.
figuring it out, how to
Amazon's
up the
preferred.
prices right
Yep, and then
before
they
you
up it a little right before.
check out.
We read the same article in the Wall Street Journal.
Probably, yeah.
They're being sued, by the way.
Hmm?
Very cool. Anyway, we're going to carry on. So that's what I'm looking at right now, and that's why I appreciate that. Now, when I very first got done with law school, Reed was on board, had Jess on board, and we needed something more than my single cab pickup truck for a family car. Wasn't working out anymore because that's just one adult with the two kids, and that puts the other adult in the back, and we don't live on the reservation. Dang it. We don't live in Aho.
Can't
All
throw,
comes
can't
full
throw
circle.
5 kids in the front cab.
No. So, no. Anyway, I would have, but anyway. So, I bought a secondhand Tahoe that my brother-in-law had, and I bought it for cash. And I sold the car that we did have and made a little bit of money. And anyway, was able to buy that and pay it off. And that was awesome, but it needed tires. And the tire, that was like paying that thing off was every dime I had. Gunnell knew this. He's like, wow, it's really nice.
I think you remember this story, yeah.
Kind of need some tires. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And a couple days later, he calls me. He goes, you're not going to believe this. Somebody had, gone
Changed
to a different,
in some
changed
tires.
in some brand new tires that were the exact same that I had on there, which were super high end. And they were the exact same that I had. And he's like, just give me $400.
Awesome.
And that's what, I paid them for them.
And he understands that social aspect that you made a client for life. When
He
does
made a
that
client
stuff.
for life no matter what, but I just love the integrity. Also, I can trust what he says to me when he says, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me look into that one. I don't know if I can get that. I don't know if that's a good idea. He's told me no more than he's told me yes. No, you're not doing that one. He'll go that direction quite a bit with me, and Reed can kind of understand that. I like to go extreme a little bit. My Jeep, I want something a certain way. He's like, no. So he's saving me from me. I like that. I don't think that there are people that want their wills and trusts done by a robot my age and above, and we're the ones that are going to be dying when these guys are working. So I don't think that particular industry is going to go bye-bye, but it is certainly affected.
Yeah, and it's not. We're not dying because you and I still exist, right? So that generation, they're still going to all. I mean, even my own clientele. I have a lot of Hispanic. The clientele. They're not always super technologically advanced, and so they're still using Facebook when everybody else is using TikTok. Is how I kind of term it, and because of that, they're still 10 or 15 years behind, and they'll get there, and that's just not where their culture was at this time, but they're adapting as they're becoming assimilated as well. So we're still years away because there's still a generation that's not. My grandpa still calls up, his son to book him a flight because he's passed away now, but that was what was happening
I do that too.
a year ago. And so there's still 15 or 20 years where even if AI exists, grandma may not be either trust it or figure out how to use it. But it'll be my closing thought would be it'll be interesting what happens in the next 15
There's
years
no question.
as there is a generation that starts to use this, like maybe it's the middle-aged generation right now that figures it out, and then we've disappeared that older generation.
They're going to ride the wave. These guys have a good opportunity to ride a wave, but it's going to require some look down the road and some good old-fashioned grit. The same thing that required you to open up your own shop, me to open up my own shop, the same thing that went into your dad opening up his own shop or whatever, his progress. It's the same elements that still exist. They still got it. Your son that's on, not meeting the kids at the school, he's not alone. He's not alone. He's that's kind of the more common.
More common.
That's more common. Pull it off. Yes.
He talks perfectly with people. And
It took Caden a while, though. There was definitely a period where he was.
he can interact.
I had to serve
It was
permission
more-
to do that.
True.
It was more like after middle school. Then I kind of just started talking to more people. Not even like freshman year of high school. Kind of. I don't know. I always stuck with like a smaller group, but nowadays, like after like freshman year, moving to Desert Hills was honestly like.
And I would even, I get to watch it from an outside perspective. I would even say, while Caden got better as he progressed in high school, I would say not even until after high school was the major progression as far as socially even dealing with people on a personal level.
Like what Reed
because we had to pull him off his computer, honestly. If he was honest with himself, there was a lot of computer-based relationships or phone-based relationships or whatever else. And so there's progression to all of it.
So what Reed just said, he went on a mission to learn how to do all that. But his mission self, if he saw himself today, would kick his own butt.
And half of those missionaries on that topic struggle for the first 6 months, if not the whole time, if they never adjust to it, because they've never done that.
Right.
And so
Right.
luckily Reed was able to figure it out and go, oh, I don't have my phone. How am I going to react? Other people just, I don't have my phone. I'm not going to react type of thing.
That's
and
true.
just doesn't.
That's true. So we're sitting here kind of advising the future awesomenesses, and we kind of started a little bit with Charlie Kirk, and that's kind of really his spot there is activists, like a moderate activist. It's so interesting to see an activism push that's moderate. So they're not jumping up and down and burning down buildings weird. They're winning arguments, I guess, to a degree, but who cares really? It's really awareness. So people that think that way don't feel alone on these college campuses, wherever they might be, which is pretty cool. It's like, well, okay, that wasn't really a need when I was in college. Probably wasn't much of one for you either, because
and I totally understand that money, like Charlie Kirk's position on college, and this is totally, we'll circle back and kind of finish it there, but the college sham thing, there's legitimacy to his argument as far as the monetary part of it, degrees that don't carry you anywhere, and I do still think there's value, and it's exactly what we were talking about. There is a college experience, right? There's an experience of living outside your home, hopefully interacting with other people, whether you're doing activism or you're watching people do activism and going, this isn't for me, and what are you guys doing, and arguing against them.
which
or
is probably most.
Probably, but all of that, there's an experience of dealing with people, and you do get to do that for the most part in college. Now, you go into Harvard, you're going to get a very liberal experience. If you're going to ASU, it's maybe a totally different experience. And so you get to see a lot of different mixes of people. Caden can attest to that. He's just doing a little community college right now, but he's met all kinds of different walks of life and professors that have different ways, and some he's agreed with, some he feels like are not worth his time and whatever else. And that's a different experience because you're doing that without the supervision of your parents telling what to do, without somebody telling you got to be to class on time. There's just a whole bunch of adult skills that are still learned in college, in my opinion. So I think there's value to it, but I also think that they need to restructure especially if AI is coming out and taking over a lot of these. It needs to be restructured so that there's an actual skill that's coming out of it.
Because I could argue,
not just a social experience.
Not really to be contrarian, but I could argue, okay, but what's the difference between, all right, I just got a job on a concrete crew, at 19 years old, 18 years old, and I'm supposed to be at this place at this time, and I have this guy that's my boss or my supervisor, and these guys that work around me, and these are the things that I don't know anything, day one. And so to me, it's kind of a similar.
Yeah, no, the social aspects of
social
being
aspect.
responsible and being an adult. The only thing I would take that maybe you're not getting still there is, and this is your whole point. Well, the peer part and the ability to critically think. Hopefully that's, I did learn how to critically think on my mission and in college. I did.
Right.
Sometimes it was on a subject that I didn't care about, but I did learn how to do that. The AI portion of that is something that can be diminished in that area,
Yeah.
but there is that ability to do that and do it on a timeline that like I said, you're not structured to do, that you actually have to motivate yourself to do and critically think.
Yeah. I
There's
just
some value
would-
that
I-
you're
I
not
would-
getting at maybe
I
a
would
concrete
probably
job.
I would probably pull a little bit of an audible on that and think you may be critically thinking in El Campo
Maybe.
more than you think, because there's 1,016 things that go into a pad of concrete that you're pouring for the home that you're building.
But you're not getting like a contrary view. Like somebody wants you to pour concrete, they want you to do it a certain way. You don't have 5 different bosses saying, "Hey, but what about this way? What about
you have
this way?
different
What about?"
things going a different way?
So-
You have 5 different elements that don't exist that happen in your house alone. That didn't exist in the one next door. You got a weather component, a water component, a how long the
there's
mud's going to get there component.
Still problem solving. I'm just meaning like in college you have contrary views on the same topic, whether it's coming from your professor or different people in the classroom.
You got the finisher sitting there
And
going,
so-
I don't care if it's a half an inch off, but then you've got, I don't want to be a half an inch off. Then you've got the guy that at some point you don't want to get thrown under the bus at some point.
So maybe my point is you've got a guy in college where it says this cement's not even necessary.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't even be doing cement at all. You're not probably going to have that in there. So I like I said,
I understand.
There's all we can make examples of both things. I encouraged Caden. You know, he had the idea that he was going to go straight out into the work field, and didn't really find a job that he liked or liked him. And so then I was encouraging him to go to school because of different things of experiences that I wanted him to have, and he is now really enjoying school. It took him a year. He took a year off and didn't do it, and now came and said,
He's
"No,
on
I'm
fire
really,
now."
yeah." And that he still doesn't know where it's going to end up and whether it's going to. But for right now, it's an experience that he's having, that he's enjoying that
I
social
like
aspect.
the
and
opportunity that
learning
someone
different
that
things.
goes to college right now, if they can get in there in the front of their mind, I'm going to ride the AI wave. I'm going to ride this. I'm going to own it. I understand. You got to understand it though. You got to ride it. You got to move it.
And
forward.
he's got, and I've always encouraged him, and I've always encouraged him to don't waste his time in college either. Like try as early
like
as you
what you
can,
said.
to find his path. That for right now he wants to be a pharmacist, and so we are gearing. We're not doing that waste of, hey, we'll just get an English degree and see where it leads me kind of thing. We're gearing towards all the science classes and whatever else that's going to take him to the pharmacy school as quick as possible.
Yeah.
That I see a value in, because
I see
unfortunately he
value in that.
can't do anything else. You can't be
Right.
a pharmacist unless you go to school. And so
I agree. I agree. It's a means to an end.
But I do think that
absolutely
whole
100% agree with that.
just kind of
Agree.
hang out in college is also a waste of time.
I agree.
So
I think that's a very valuable point A, point B, point C. I mean, it's a means to an end. Pharmacy, he wants to be a pharmacist. Okay, this is what it takes to be there. We wanted to be attorneys. This is what it took
Yeah.
to be there. Doctors, this is what it takes to be there. Dentists, this is what it takes
and
to be
that's the
there.
only way
And so-
I won over my in-laws, honestly. They had so many people they'd been introduced to as the future husband or the boyfriend that Christy had at the time. But every one of them wanted to be like an FBI agent or something crazy that they had no plan to do it.
What's
The
the
only
result then?
I could exactly the only
my
way I
days.
could convince my in-laws is that I had a plan. Like that was the one compliment. I was probably the ugliest guy she presented, but I had a plan of where
There's
I
not
wanted
a
to be.
chance of that one. You're a good-looking fellow.
But that was a major portion of it is that when they asked me what are your plans in life, I'm like, look, I'm taking the LSAT in this month and I'm applying to law school next month, and that's my plan. And they were like, oh, first one that's actually had it.
Oh, all right. Well,
Not only a
welcome to the
goal,
family.
but a plan to get there. So
Right. Okay.
that's how I sold over my in-laws.
So you were in a line. So you won the beauty
Oh, yeah,
contest.
just stuff.
You've won a
The
beauty
line
contest.
was long, my friend. She had a good time in college.
De salud.
Cheers to the winner. Still,
We're gonna end on that. I get the looks of these two boys going, what the? Good luck, my friends.
have a plan.
Have a
I
plan.
can get you a wife one day.
Yep. Don't squat in your spurs.